I think I'd be pretty annoyed in the V where there's nothing in front. Oh God!
Oh my God!
What the fuck?
Oh my God!
Wow, the rest of us flinched in our seats.
It's literally everyone ducks in the room.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
And so I have something for you. It's
Well,
a
now I know the other one.
1987 Toyota Land Cruiser FJ60.
Hell yeah!
And it is stacked up against a 2011 Benz G55.
We're gonna make this quick.
Oh my goodness!
Oh.
There goes my.
Oh, you can't pay
streak
for that
of
kind of
bad
entertainment. Oh, yes, you can. I guess that's
There's
exactly
more.
what you
We're
can
not
pay
done
for.
yet.
What happened? There's no one behind me for some reason.
All right. This.
XRs.
Back me up here. Thank you.
2001 Honda XR.
The worst KTM 690.
650R.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, Tyler. Sorry, Tyler.
Apparently, I'm hanging out with KTM and Ducati nerds tonight. He's gonna get towed through the straight, but will it lead to an attacking position?
Don't flinch.
They're gonna stay flat through it. Oh! I saw a lift. I saw a lift. Aggressive. Oh, I like it. The car that made Porsche so angry that they willed the GT3 Touring Edition into existence just to with people like this guy that's selling this car. Here it goes.
Oh. Okay. Good now.
Respectable. Oh, but then...
Somebody straightened me out after that.
Ooh, bonk. Bonk.
Ooh.
Who am I riding on?
little drama. Well, that brings us to the end of the cold open race, and we are not actually even going to bother looking at the results because at the end of the... I'm sorry. Hold on. Did you win, Mr. Goat? Okay.
30 seconds, folks, from the session advance. Bring it on in. Shote's going to hit the advance button, and you're all going to hang out in the pits, or in your lane, rather. Obviously, the Legion of Legacy cars is not.
That's a pass.
Oh my God! He pulls through it. What heroism! It's not a man; he's a monster.
1 minute to show. Hold in lane.
Intended to do that one, but it worked.
And I agree with you. I agree with you
I
completely.
feel like it has to be the lunch.
All right. Well, let's see if you were right. Of course, it's not the luggage.
You tricked me.
It's a Testarossa. How is this a trick? It's not a trick.
Derek, you were just locking up like crazy.
I am not clearing your meatball if you get meatballed.
Yeah, that's how I got it this time.
Yeah, there is an incident
Note
right
on
there.
Conan's telemetry that he never actually hit the brake. I have never seen him once attempt to avoid a collision.
I was gonna...
Tonight on Tonight We Race. We race. Also, welcome back, Goals.
Thank you. It's good
Let's
to be
go
back.
right to the quad. Got a button for this.
Bam. They
So,
charge out of the pits. This is quite a configuration we've set him up with today. There's a couple of things I'm noticing right off the bat. Why don't you take us down the list of exactly what you've done to these poor souls behind us?
there are some non-standard configuration changes this
wow, it's
evening.
really
we
raining
thought that we would break things up a little bit
Hey, at least it's not night
and
time.
keep them in their TCR cars for tonight. So we're not swapping vehicles on them, but we wanted to give them access to some circumstances that they have not necessarily had before. So for starters, we're in the wet on Scuba.
No joke.
Which we tend not to do here. And they're also surrounded by a swarm of 1934 Ford Legend cars, all of which have been programmed to avoid human contact
At
at
all
all costs. We don't actually know what that means, but we're about to find out.
Yeah, we're hoping we see some silly stuff.
Let's check in on...
Silly stuff, not just from the obscene amount of water on the track.
So it said, "Sir, how much
you're
rain do
sending
you
up so
want?"
much
And I said,
spray.
"Yes."
Yeah. Uh-huh. Perfect.
Potato Lobster out there in his cold open. He's actually very undramatic. We're going to move on here.
Me and John just doing the dory trip.
There we go.
around.
Space
Okay.
Beauties.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Oh, that's that.
Oh,
gee.
oh
wow.
boy, howdy. I believe Conan just committed a murder.
You literally punted him off the track.
That man is one lap around the track with 6 incidents on the count. That's impressive. Actually, let's get the incident counts. Let's see who has our highest incident counts right now.
I'm counting 4 on pod 1, 4 on pod 2, 0 on pod 3, and 6 on pod 4. That
Oh
would
my
be
god,
Conan.
really?
Good job, Duffy. Keep it up.
We taught him to drive safely, and soon he will be the fastest man on the track. Conan, I'm getting some yellow flag here.
Yeah.
If that's how it's gonna be.
Sounds like a problem for someone else.
They're trying to instill some form of caution in you.
They're saying
Yes.
there's obstacles on the track.
Yeah, that's my bad.
What I find really great about this is just here we'll do this from the external, just the complete size difference between the two classes
It
of
is.
cars.
There's the best shot right there. It's kind of absurd. These Legends cars are little toys.
Like if there were little deployable ramps, you could put a Legends car up on top of one of the TCRs and it would be fine.
I think you may not need a ramp, and we may yet see a TCR or a Legends car on top of a TCR car.
So watch on this sweeper. Check out the slip angle on these things. Oh, he's going to take this one nice and tidy.
there
No,
it
look at
is.
that. Look
There
at
it
that.
is.
Look at that.
Yep, good and kinked over. Yeah, these TCR cars are a ton of fun.
When the water leaves the car, not backwards, that's when you're having a good time.
Right up the side.
That's tighter than I want. Let's move on. Oh, we've got all sorts of things happening here. Let's go check in on Space Peonies. Space Peonies widely considered to be the safest driver in the studio, or at least the most
I'm
consistent.
coming up on someone.
I'm bucking the trend.
Detecting some strong opinions.
All right.
There's quite a
maybe
speed
this is my
differential here, too. The
qualifying.
TCRs are well faster than the Legends cars.
I was at 0 incidents until
You know, something that we can't
haven't called
control
it out.
is whether the Legends car AI drivers swap wets onto their cars or not.
I was just gonna say, does the Legends class support wets?
It does. Any car that has been programmed to
God,
support
the
rain,
brag.
i.e., like it won't let you session in at all if it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
But any of them, like if it supports dirt, it has dirt tires. If it supports the wet, it has wet tires.
All right, good.
I said the wet
The
like
whole
it's some
party
sort of
happening on the
proper
outside
noun.
of the left corner.
Welcome to the wet.
So only
Tonight,
Ted
on Tonight We
and one other
Race.
person. out of
The wet.
yeah, I did not.
Feels like some sort of cyberpunk commercial.
So they just
Spray when you're-
randomize them.
Your music.
Go violent.
I think we start from
Expand your limits with the
No, I
wet.
think we start from the good. They just randomly.
That's
assign
going to be a
us
bumper.
Puts you at the back.
Chunky Noises
But
out
if
of pod
everyone
1. Oh,
comes at
he's
the
fine.
back, who's at the back?
He's fine. You're fine, Kyle.
I got one. Yeah.
Does it mean he got a clean lap, or he
Orders
crashed
it
into a
by
Legends car?
practice.
That's a great question. To be clear, this was just the qualifier. Can we get the results up on that?
So then.
Oh, look at that!
A whole bunch of uh-oh.
Holy-
Is that
Holy time differential, Batman.
is that
look at
blue
that.
flag Ted Carter right there?
With what is that? 6 seconds difference to the next fastest TCR racer.
Holy crap. Has he done this before?
Was he on a dry track?
I will note that blue flag not in contention for the
true.
for the trophy this season as a result of not being here every session. But now you can see why he was such a weapon in prior seasons.
And then down at the bottom we have the rest
Oh,
of our
sorry.
human drivers without clean race times.
What is a clean race time?
It's to be expected in a cold open in the wet with this massive of speed differential and all those knobs behind the steering wheel.
I'm just saying the word clean implies a whole lot of things that I'm not comfortable
It's
implying.
true. Maybe we should change the terminology there. Maybe clean is not very PC.
impact free.
Yeah, impact free. Maybe clean isn't as considerate as it maybe should be in the 21st century we live in.
They are gritting into the actual race.
Please tell me it's a rolling start.
No, it's not. It's a standing start with a bunch of rear-wheel drive funny cars.
I mean, that is going to be, as you just said, funny.
Sarah's
But
behind you. You're good.
Also, these technically aren't funny cars.
I'm behind you,
let's,
too.
we should use the correct terminology.
Legends.
Which is a real thing. Apparently, there is one race in the Pacific Northwest for Legends cars.
Right in Monroe. Seems like a good time.
My-
Never gone to that.
everyone
I've been
here
wanting to
has
go to more
helpfully said
motorsports
that I'm on a
things.
wet
We should
tire.
go.
We should absolutely
We
go.
should go to the
Oh, I
races.
hope I'm on a wet tire.
Quite literally. And they're off.
The hell?
Sort of. Maybe.
Oh no!
Partially.
What the heck?
That went so fast. I was
Holy
not
cow.
already.
Boy, howdy. A couple of those Legends cars really got going.
So the Legends cars are rear-wheel drive, which means that as they transfer weight, they are gaining grip, and obviously the TCR cars are front.
and then there's this. Oh, the car's like popping into existence in the back there. What is going on? Chaos cars popping out of the frame and into the frame.
Dr.
down here.
Gould, the Hellman's Mayonnaise car plows through
Yes.
the wall
Yes,
of Legends.
this is what we expected to see from the avoid contact at all costs setting.
And
Uh,
still somehow manages to come out of that with more
come through,
drive.
and
Oh,
there's a TCR
nope.
car pointing the wrong way on the track.
Oh, did you see 27 dip there?
Yeah, it was in. Yeah, actually, it's interesting to see them.
I
intentionally
wouldn't
avoid.
have guessed. Thank you for forcing this display.
Oh, there he goes too. He just turned out to avoid the dive from Dr. Gould. Oh my!
We gave
God.
Shote a button that forces his view into our studio cam, and it's the best button we've ever built.
Yeah, turns out Shote's usually right. What is that line?
He was trying to avoid contact.
Take him out.
So this might be fun to watch. You can see the Hellman's Mayonnaise car of Dr. Gould.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yep. You're in the middle.
Burned up.
3 wide.
Burned
2
up too much
wide.
momentum. What?
So it turns out pushing another car out of the way, not the fastest way down the back straight. There is, as it turns out, a faster way to do that section of the track.
This is turning out to be far more entertaining than I was anticipating, and I set this up.
I am gonna go to the
They're
bed.
saying
Yeah.
a car behind
I'm gonna
has gone
rear-end
off.
it so bad if I
There
can.
appears to be some sort of debris on the track.
No,
It may be
no
bits of a Legends
comprehension how to,
car.
like threshold break
I see.
past you.
Potato
You're just,
lobster
like,
swimming
trying
with
to
the
hit these
salmon
cars?
here.
Yeah.
No, well, they should be as
Proximity warning going off.
very inconsistent.
Still cuts to the inside of that despite the proximity warning.
Oh, the
Someone
Legends
just
car took
rejoined
him
and
out.
slammed 2
Now he
cars
too is
straight into
debris.
me.
It was that little guy.
Oh, that guy's
whoa.
going the wrong way on the track. Hey, sir, you can't park there. All right.
Dude, how'd you get a 112?
Oh, this is the happiest a cold open has
What-
made me in quite some
What
time.
I don't know.
This is telling me that
well,
above
there-
all else, we need to go
Oh,
more
cool.
ridiculous
Never
with the
mind, I'm
cold
on
opens
track.
every time.
That sounds true.
More track out there.
Not
to think about.
that
Yeah,
things like
figured it
Jetta
out.
stock car racing.
Dude,
and
I just
whatnot
wagged my
aren't-
tail through
Those,
that whole
those things were
corner.
fun.
They're insanely fun. But multi-class, man. Multi-class.
I think, to me, the second best cold open race we ever did behind this was the multi-class Formula V and Spec Ford Racer on Lime Rock.
That was a lot of fun.
But in that race, we allowed both humans and AIs to select class as per their preference.
There's a part of me that feels like this is coming from entirely a place of just a lack of knowledge, but I do think it would be pretty funny to do a serious balance of power difference between the AI cars and everybody, all our guys in TCRs and then all the bots in Formula 4.
I was gonna say we could put all the bots in like GT4s or something
Yeah.
else that's been instrumented correctly.
Yes, exactly. Something
You're in the Audi, right? Yeah.
just
you
a
could probably-
survival mode where
Pull on me.
our
Yeah, you're gonna
racers
pull.
are constantly getting flown
Yeah,
past.
give-
In a
fully
world, so
done.
like the secret
Oh, God.
the secret plan on tonight. Whoop, there we go. On tonight we race
Yeah,
with
nice.
making our
Gosh
drivers
darn it.
purchase more content progressively over the series. Is that
Now you have me
by
behind
like
you.
the 6th season,
That-
we'll be able to do like a full-on LMP
know,
race
yeah,
with
yeah.
multi-class.
Yeah, whatever the
Good
hell
way
we
to do
want.
that.
It'll be like, oh, where's that on Spa? Oh, I own Spa. It's gonna be great.
That'll be great. I like it.
There's debris on the track.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, there's pieces of Tom everywhere.
Kind of debris.
Okay, now, does he go around this car or just push him out of the way?
It looks like he tried to avoid contact here.
An uncharacteristic move from Conan.
There might be something wrong with his wheel.
I think we're entering a PvP zone.
It's technically PvE, isn't it?
It's PVE VP.
Like it's yeah. I mean, they're bots.
Numerous.
The AI are the scavs here.
Yeah. There you go.
This is-
Oh my God, that makes so much more sense now.
yeah. And
Roll those guys over for their small tactical beef.
I don't respect them.
Oh, come on, man. It's also fun to play as a scav.
It's true. It's
Doing the wiggles,
118.
hoping no one murks you for the fact you just opened a file cabinet before they got there.
Yep.
Oh, you got this.
Bum, 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 bum.
They've managed to not do anything ridiculous for 15 seconds now.
That's why you're pulling away.
Duffy coming up on a pack of Legends cars.
Here we go. Let's see how he handles that.
Quattro, baby.
9 minutes and 30 seconds left in this
Only
ridiculousness.
Dostro in the TCR cars. Though.
I know, I'm just joking.
I will say I'm overall, maybe impressed isn't the right word, but
I just wanted
the
John to
AI
question
is
whether
keeping
I
it
pulled away or
together.
not.
I haven't seen a
Yeah,
single
Tom!
Legends car go flying off track
race
of its
leader.
own accord.
No, it's only because someone steam shoveled
it's
them.
only because somebody killdozered them.
Well, I can spot your colors at least.
Straight up twisted metal shit.
We've already established all bets are off.
Great game. Great game.
Isn't there?
Fully Joker-fied.
Didn't someone make a Twisted Metal
Got the
television
colors up.
series recently?
Oh my
I
god.
feel like
All
that was
the
a
AI
thing.
just disappeared.
Did someone say
Maybe
the
it's
AI
not
just
connected.
disappeared? Did I hear that correct?
Oh, they're back.
No, I think they're just in a section of the track with minimal AI. Oh.
Getting packet loss.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
And
Packet
maybe
loss.
getting removed from the session.
Is that just Pod 3?
Just Duffy?
Ooh, he goes.
Why would one pod of identical machines on a flat
all
network?
all on the same network. Oh no. What is happening?
We will send someone back there to look at it while we are doing the opening content. And by someone I mean Shote, obviously.
I knew tariffs
Somebody
would
jiggle my
affect shipping,
Wi-Fi.
but I didn't think they would mess up our packets.
Oh God. Well, this is the global supply chain.
This is the global supply. We're seeing it right here. The impacts of the recent political climate on our global supply, on our local supply chain.
Shote, can you change which car you're spectating just for shits? On the off chance that the act of spectating him is losing him packets. Oh, he's back. I consider that causation.
Good enough for me.
I've made a decision.
I'm not a scientist. I'll take it. In fact, I don't like scientists. They scare me and make me feel more strong about my opinions.
They seem awfully sure about things, except when they're not.
I don't like that.
This is where the most drama is right now. What's this look like from a blimp cam, out of curiosity?
Way different.
Just
instead of being
gray.
reversed.
It's just
Okay.
turns out I was snarky but correct.
So
Yeah.
one of the automobiles is... Oh, there
Yeah.
we go.
You know-
Very nice.
You know, when the weather's like this, it may not be worth it to fly the blimp out to the track. Is all I'm saying. Like, maybe leave the blimp at home.
They flew that blimp out there so we could have our shots. They
At least we used it.
thank them for their service.
We used it the once. That blimp pilot has a 4-hour ride home.
Oh, my goodness. Does it really take 4 hours to get home in a blimp from the stadium?
I can't imagine it's a quick operation.
It's almost as bad as I-5.
Dude, why can't I only bring it on the cold open? All my races have been terrible. My cold opens this season have been really good.
6 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock as our remote drivers lament that this is the best performance they're going to turn in for the evening.
Yeah, Blue Flag routinely puts in an incredible performance in the cold open.
He knows it's not for points, right?
Somebody remind him.
Space Punies in traffic with
I
the
only had
Legends.
6 incidents count,
Dive
so
through
I
the
feel
Legends.
pretty good about that.
Space Ponies with only 5 incidents. Again, proving our cleanest racer out there right now.
Like, if I wanted to put together a league and just clone one person from the entire series.
If we could get Drivatar and assign it to the AI, we'd do it based off of Space Ponies Drivatar.
Well, if you remember back into Season 1, a news item from early in that season, Microsoft is now working with iRacing
Nice track,
Oh my
to
God,
spin
really?
Conan out.
Just 14 incident count.
iRacing is going to be working with Microsoft to improve the driving AI inside the game,
Very hard.
How did you get
I did not know that. That's cool.
which is kind of funny because I hated the Drivatar
Right
system.
bullying.
Ask me about Drivatar Shote sometime.
It's got that executive approach, you know.
Was it like driving with
Either
Conan?
follow or get out of
Yeah,
his
no,
way.
kind of.
Like, I don't even treat humans this well.
Duffy and all sorts of traffic.
A
Oh,
110.
wow, that's a lot of spin.
Slip angle.
When those guys go batty, they go all the way batty. 5 minutes on the clock, and though this one is for no points, we will pull up the scores and see what is going on here. It's gonna be, oh, we need to scroll up here because the fun stuff's at the top. It's gonna be,
Look at that.
hey, look at that.
All our boys at the front. This just shows you there's a massive speed differential.
I was gonna say, it turns out that the cars with the much bigger tires and,
And
stronger
engines,
engines
yep.
and real suspensions are
fast.
winning the race.
Yeah, fast boys fast.
Blue Flag up by a substantial gap, followed by Space Boonies in Pod 2. The Utah crew, Conan, drgould, and Potato Lobster. And then a whole bunch of AI schlock. Is there anyone at the bottom of that list I need to know about?
Do we have a human down there? Is it all? Oh,
Oh,
two
there.
real
Duffy's
good-
still there. Good.
Duffy's in there mixing it up with the Legends cars. Honestly, Duffy's having the best time right now. They're all just out there doing their thing. Duffy's actually racing.
Dun 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 dun. See, that was an avoidable contact.
There's few things more terrifying than being an AI in a Legends car right now, I think.
I think he craves it.
Well, we know when the GPT model eventually takes over, Conan is not safe.
Oh, well.
I'll bet that guy doesn't even say
Butlerian
thank you at the end
jihad
of his
wins.
prompts.
I think the rain's getting worse. So, something that you wouldn't be able to see from this perspective is
No, Derek's coming.
the Legends cars don't have windshield wipers. Can I get a cockpit view on any given Legends car? I think we've got one of those.
What you could do is get a view of Derek about to probably put.
There we go. You know what? Reasonable. Whoa.
Look at the AI.
This guy's exciting.
Look at the rev counter on those engines. What do they put in these things?
God, this thing looks a lot of fun. I think it's a motorcycle engine, isn't it?
Ah, that makes much more sense.
Yeah, I think it's a four banger inline four screamer.
Huh.
You know? 12,000, 13,000 RPM red line. It's probably a GSXR motor, given that that's what every motorsports platform, cross karts, Legends, I think.
No, look at you go.
It's because there's no lack of available
my spotter
GSXRs
just called you so
to pull motorcycles.
Can't imagine why. Oh, they're gonna squeeze it. Nope.
Man.
That was
Is that the time?
extremely funny.
Oh no.
Oh, the pit.
I'm the dastardly man. I'm sorry.
That's you. John, it's a cold open. It's not for points.
he's,
It's a cold open. Just go.
he's gonna shame himself into a halt here.
Usually, I'd be saying that was very good sportsmanship,
Oh, no,
but
now
in
we
this
get to go.
instance,
Now we get to go.
I think that was
Go
the
do
wrong move.
sins to Mike.
Yes.
Except it's not Mike.
1 minute 40 seconds left on the cold open here. Shote has injected his view here. Oh no! What?
Whoa! Howdy.
Jesus! That's unneighborly. Is he okay? Can we see him on this view? It looks like he's still moving. Oh no, he's
He's still out.
Get sideways.
3 into the braking zone. A madman at the back.
It's worth watching.
And you know what they say, don't follow the driver in front of you.
Never.
The slip angle on those things
I love
in the way
watching the
is
slip
pretty
angle.
satisfying. That's a good time.
Oh no, I forgot about the brakes.
31 incident count.
31. Each one of those the
Okay,
death of a
forgetting about the
precious
brakes
young
makes me a
AI
lot
driver.
faster.
Oh boy. Oh, wow. That cloud of water when they hit that puddle on the inside there.
I wonder if there's a button for making the windshield wipers go faster.
John.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting choice considering the turn that's coming up.
14 seconds left, and all he has to do.
Derek.
I think a funny thing about these Legends cars, too, is they weigh
can't see
nothing. So when one of these
anything, too.
TCRs
It's
hits them, they go flying, and the TCRs barely react.
They're so roly-poly. They just bounce around.
They
They're so
just
happy.
bounce around. This is truly no consequence contact round.
We may need to put people in Legends cars next season.
I think that actually sounds like an exceptionally good idea. Tight tracks.
Mini ovals.
I like the way I did my fastest lap.
You know, they also make
straight
a
up,
dirt version of
sideways
this.
Do they really?
Yeah.
across the start finish.
Fantastic.
White flags all around. That means it's
One
time
more
to
lap.
bring it home.
This is Conan's last lap to collect incident points on,
There's one.
and he's doing a good job. Actually, I think he got through that without contact, but he did pick up a black flag, which is like kind of a joke.
I don't know. It's still holding there at 0.6.
Well, I mean, like, sure, this is just like the idea that a race marshal wouldn't have pulled this guy off the racetrack.
Yeah, okay, so they give him 30 seconds to spend it, which is probably too much time. It's probably too much time.
John, what happened to your race? Why didn't I never see you again?
Spun a bunch of times.
Kept my incidents at 6, magically, somehow.
33.
I got 9 incidents.
Oh, weird. Is chat hosed? Is that what's going on?
I think our particular chat instance is
We'll fix
semi-hosed.
chat.
Let's get that back up.
I'll take that fast lap.
No chat.
Sorry, Dreisel. Chat's been hosed.
There it is.
We fixed it.
Ooh.
We were having. Oh my God! What is? Are you eating them?
Good job, very good job, they told him after he slammed his TCR car
All
into
right,
the
let's
wall.
look at the final numbers in the cold open. That is going to be
Causing
Blue
10
Flag winning the race for no points whatsoever, followed by the Utah crew, Dr. Gould, and then 3 of our 4 pod racers. And we move on to the actual content for the evening. Let's do the thing, but with the corner cam and the interact box. You can give me a fuck up for that. This should have been set up ahead of time.
All right.
Click. What you just saw was the cold open, which was, of course, our iRacing TCR spec cars. These are the 2 Hyundais, the Honda and the Audi. Approximately 300 horsepower, 300 foot-pound of torque, front-wheel drive, and sourced largely from the components of their original donor cars. They are fun and they are squirrely, and you just saw them in the wet, glomped on by the 1934 Legends spec, which is a car that we have not yet used here in the series. But as you can see,
That
they
may
are
change.
they are tiny and fun-filled and serve as good puntable foils for cold open races. And we took them, of course, to the wrong screen. We took them to Scuba. The full version of Scuba. We had originally wanted to do this on the chicane version of Scuba, but it turns out that the only thing actually separating that portion of the track is 6 highway cones standing next to each other.
And you can't trust Conan with a circumstance
This
like that.
group just kind of has a thing with cones. You, in particular, have a thing with cones. But we don't judge.
I'll bring a cone friend along
On
sometime.
Tonight We Race.
I really like the full-length Scuba outlay. I think that's a great layout.
I think it is. I like the repeatability of Scuba Short. The 1 kilometer course, the micro course there, just not wide enough for almost anything we do here.
Yeah,
So we
also true.
we almost never use it. Let's talk about the news. What is the news? This is great. Apparently, this is from Jalopnik tonight. Our normal news sources are not producing interesting things.
Which means it may not be AI-generated dribble.
Very, very positive. So the headline here is that it is possible that Nissan and Honda are going to cooperate on a platform to produce both the next GTR and the next NSX. 2 utterly iconic vehicles that kind of have absolutely nothing to do with each other whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. 2 JDM icons.
Like, you've got, like, the lightweight, all aluminum, super tight, mid-engined, and quite frankly, very, very attractive archetype of Japanese supercar. And then you've got Godzilla, which is too heavy, too powerful, has a Sony PlayStation for an internal computer.
Yeah, it's sort of a Japanese muscle car.
Yeah, basically.
regard,
and
right?
and to be clear, incredibly fast.
Yeah,
but
very good cars, both of them, but like very different. Yeah, I do wonder that's a fascinating inquiry as how that may turn out.
They've got 5 years to figure it out. We'll see what happens. We can't get away in Formula One season without talking about Formula One, so I would like to talk about this image right here, which is Verstappen going through the turn 2, like, I don't know if you call that the runoff area, around Oscar, who has the actual right and correct line here. So have you heard this one?
I have not.
This is a perfectly valid passing technique as demonstrated by the best drivers in the world.
Well, it turns out that the racing stewards did not agree, and they gave Verstappen a 5-second penalty, and that cost him the race, which Oscar, of course, won by 2.6, 2.7 seconds. Here's the thing. They took 10 minutes to adjudicate that. So, like, the launch happens, like, Oscar goes, they get the turn, Verstappen says, I'm not seating this, takes it wide into the next turn, gets the position. And there's radio chatter where Oscar's like, what the hell just happened here? That's my position. And then 10 minutes pass while people try to decide if they're going to adjudicate this or not. Into that 10 minutes, like, reality is setting itself out there on the track. They come back later and say, hey, man, you got to give up 5 seconds. And if they had been on the ball with either calling it early, adjudicating it early, like, it would have been a very, very different race. Verstappen was extremely pissed off after this happened. And would not talk to reporters afterwards, and maybe he's going to carry that into his next race. I don't know.
Yeah, this is, I think, a prime example of, like, F1 politics adjudicating what happens in the racing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't about what actually happened. It was about
the politics of do we slap our
dare we touch the golden boy?
Yeah, right. Like, that's a bummer.
But it is news, and that's why it's here. Let's talk about the drivers for tonight. In Pod 1, we've got Potato Lobster, his first season here with Tonight We Race, and I believe that he is already out practicing on the first feature race track for the evening. In Pod 2, Space Punies, universally considered the smoothest driver, like a menthol, and he is always ranking high in the final podium as a result. In Pod 3, Duffy, a comeback from our first season on Tonight We Race, when we were racing absolutely whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted, here in his mountain biking gear. And in Pod 4, Conan the Destroyer, which I didn't really mean to make that joke, but that is actually how it worked out tonight. And so here we are. Let's talk about why this is relevant with the standings. Pop back in here. Nope, pop back out here. As you can see, Conan is sitting approximately 13 points out in the lead in our TCR league points tonight, with Offside, a.k.a. Knox, a.k.a. Tom, sitting at 70, and then Dr. Gould at 65. With 4 races left in the season, that means some very specific things, and that is based on how we do our league points here and how the gaps between the positions work. Offside needs to take 2 positions on Conan in every race if they are podium positions in order to pull this out, or if they're not podium positions, he needs to take 3 positions in every race in order to pull this out. That's a tall order. Now, as you can see from the results of the prior weeks here, like, Conan swept 4 races, Dr. Gould swept 4 races. It is possible to get on the horse and ride here on this show.
It absolutely is. Yeah, we're seeing it a lot. It's actually, I was just looking at that. This is also a prime example of how different levels, like, consistency is key, right? Like, you've got Dr. Gould over here who had a pretty rough showing on night 1 or 2, but then swept 3 and 4, and as a result, he's in contention. And Offside has just been damn consistent at the pointy end of the pack the entire time, and he's right there fighting for it.
It just goes to show you should be fighting at every corner of every lap, because every point counts.
It's always racing. Including
those challenge points, which we'll get to in just a second. We are moving into feature race 1 of the evening, which is, of course, our TCR spec cars on Suzuka International Racing Course. the Gem outside Tokyo. Or rather, I'm sorry, it's Scuba that's outside Tokyo. Where the heck is Suzuka? I think it's also actually outside Tokyo.
It's yeah, I want to say it's north. I think I looked it up when I was there.
Popular in Formula One, also popular in the Super Formula spec, which is specific just to Japan. We love Suzuka because it is smooth, it has one of everything, and it has a back straight with turn 1 that if you are brave, in many cars you can hold completely flat through it. Tonight, we're doing something a little different. They are only racing the west section of Suzuka, so not Nagoya, thank you, Dreisel. So not the slalom complex, but rather the massive back straight and the hairpin. So that should prove to be very, very interesting here. And we are ready to rock and roll.
Dreisel has tuned in and said Suzuka is actually in Nagoya, and I'm going to tell him that I just Google searched it, and it's actually not in Nagoya, it's in Suzuka. So, suck it, Dreisel.
And there you go. it's like, now we've learned everything we need to learn.
As an American, that's all that I needed to know.
Someday
and I'm
I
ready to go
hope that
now.
I get popular enough that they name my town after me so that I can make that joke. Let's go ahead and bring everybody in and advance the session into qualifying.
I halfway expected everything to be rainy tonight.
And of course, now everything that we do here matters.
Oh,
that was going to be my fastest lap yet.
Yeah, same.
my heart jumped there
I
when
was like,
all the
"Grand Prix from the
actuators
finish
shut off
line."
because the session advanced.
Oh,
I was like, something has just happened in the lab.
Yeah, anybody that's still on wet compound, they should probably go to dry compound right about now.
Ready to race.
Yeah, worth a check.
Here we
Worth a
go,
check.
boys.
Oh, good. Are we creeping towards nighttime or?
Yeah, we're dusking it up here.
Dad, do your headlights work?
The TCR spec
Can't wait to
cars
find
do
out.
have functional
They
headlights.
didn't last time. And I don't know why that would have changed. So
Maybe it's not nighttime. It's just getting ready to rain.
no, I'd be fine with that. I didn't mind the rain.
Just halfway
Dry
through
qualifying
the race,
and wet
force a pit
race.
stop
Let's
for a tire
go.
change.
Hell yeah.
So
We should.
now that we have raced in the rain and no one has cried or
If you are
quit,
rainy.
It's true.
So.
we are going to
Yeah,
let
if
the
you like
weather
anything,
be organic
right?
in future seasons, and if it rains, it rains.
If it rains, it rains.
Obviously not for places like
I think
Big Willow.
yeah. Just having done a decent bit of
The race labs
Racing
overlay
where the
telling
weather
you that
can
another
change.
car's near when you're
Anytime you're doing sim
qualifying
racing
by
like
yourself
that,
is
where the
very
weather changes are
disorienting.
Very
mid-race,
disorienting,
the
yep.
biggest
Yeah.
eliminating
I'm definitely
factor
ghosted
isn't
my
whether or
fellow
not they can
competitor.
drive in the rain. It's whether or not they can navigate the menu
It's like
to
a
select
I'm haunted by
select
20
wets
laps.
in the pit stop, right? And then somebody who
you
doesn't
did
turn off
better,
quick
you
repairs, so
wouldn't
they're
be.
suddenly now spending 2 minutes in the pit getting repaired and a tire change. It's the whole thing.
Well, for races that only last 20 minutes, like our feature races, the decision is actually often, do I want to take the time
Right.
to pit at all, or do
do
I
I-
just want to fight it out
Do
there?
I try to be a
in-
hero on my slicks and
Yep.
make it last? Yeah.
Which, and at 20 minutes, that's actually a real decision.
Yeah, that does make for some pretty interesting racing then. That being said, if it's properly wet and somebody switches for wets right away, somebody stays out.
So we are in the lone qualifying configuration right now. That's 2/10, which means they have the opportunity to turn in a maximum of 2 flying laps with no incidents, and they have 10 minutes to get that done.
2 clean laps as well. Oh, I didn't realize this is a slightly different configuration of Suzuka.
It's west. We just had this
So
conversation.
we literally just did. I was over here in
Most
La
of
La
what I want
Land.
out of my lap is validation. In that, my lap
Which
is
means you
valid.
get to do the hairpin twice as many times.
How wonderful.
I kind of like the hairpin.
This is a fun configuration as well. It doesn't have the squiggly S's, but
I love the S's, but like dollar for dollar, this is where the action at Suzuka is, in my opinion. Unless you're in something like the SF-23,
Sure.
where how you handle the entrance to the first turn is so critical.
gosh, that was a hell of a thing. Those cars are wild
It's
out
like
here.
don't lift, don't lift, don't lift.
Big don't.
Big don't. Wonder how Michelle and Richo are doing. we should try to organize a trip down to Oregon and see their next rally.
That'd be a fun time, but it's also worth noting that unfortunately they didn't have the result they wanted at the Olympus rally.
No,
They
that
had a
is very
mechanical.
unfortunate. It was a bad week for drivetrains all around. See, we're getting a white flag here on Space Punies, which means that he has turned in some good laps. He's got a 126.6 here.
with a looks like a 126.2 from Blue Flag.
Duffy eats it a bit in the compound left, but recovers it.
It's going to get him an off track, so that may be.
That's not going to give him a lap time
That
on that
means
one.
he's going to be within valid laps for both of his opportunities here. What do we have? 126.
125.7 at Conan land here.
drgould with a 125, almost flat.
Almost flat. What do we have for
Daring.
Tom? 126 flat. Interesting.
Tom knocks
interesting.
offside 126 flat. Well done.
Tom's in second. That's the one that has to happen here. So this is all going to be very interesting.
And Conan just got a big off track there, so he's not going to be able to.
Oh,
improve on
did he
that.
hork that lap?
Yep, he just horked that lap, so he's not going to be able to improve on that qualifying time. And
Well, I guess what I can say is that our top 3 are in the top 3.
I'd venture to guess that if anybody is still on track, they've probably invalidated their laps. And therefore, this may be our starting order. This is probably what we're going to be seeing. Let me get my...
5:30 remaining on the clock for Potato Lobster to turn in a clean lap. Clean, smooth, and minty fresh. Or alternately, session is over.
Got in the
Going to let him... Is it
Yeah,
going to let
it's
him
going to let him
collect him?
finish it.
Oh, yeah.
126.6. That's
Wow,
not
that
bad at
was
all.
2,000
That's really not bad. That
off
puts him
on
right
that
up there in the
second
meet.
lap.
Oh, yeah, your laps are close.
Duffy's going to get a second chance at the compound
so
left here.
close. Dang, okay.
So Duffy and Conan had a training session here earlier in the evening, and one of the pieces
I
of
was
feedback
definitely
that Conan delivered,
thinking
which
it
is
was
something
gonna
I'm now
be
paying special
a lot
attention here for,
faster
is what does your
than
braking
Euro
graph look
7
like? Are you attacking the brake hard and then fading, which is what you should be
Final
doing in an
compound lap. How much
aerodynamic-driven
time
car?
to find in there?
Or are you
Coming
loading
through.
brakes on,
Good
which is the
job.
exact
How you like
opposite
me
thing you
now?
should be doing?
God damn.
I know where my half second is.
How did that finally work out? Uh-oh.
125
Oh,
flat
no.
from Gould.
Utah crew, what the
Utah
hell?
True coming through with a 125.3 and a 125.2. This is a tight
This
top
is
pack.
officially a race.
We have less than a full second.
Officially
between
a race.
The top 6 racers. We like it. That's good.
We may need to break out the scorecard before the second race starts.
See what happens.
Just possibly.
We'll see what happens. But
My goodness.
this should be fun. I think this is going to be a great track for it, Tim.
Good evening, Sarah. How are you?
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
rules that are like dice roll.
Remember, no
Good choices.
legends cars play good.
Everyone but
He is
me
right.
are
There are
really
no
great.
Legends cars out there.
But there's also no damage.
Only
But we
certain
do have an
1
incident
point
count. Did
touches.
we bump that number up, didn't we?
I can't
Where
wait
we
We're
at
at
Throw
now?
this all
20
away.
and 5. 20 to trigger and 5 for repeats.
Right.
We're going to watch this one from right here.
I'm just going to say it. 20 is a lot of incidents.
20.
I know it's been a
What's the
contentious
incident count?
subject.
Is it still 20?
Let's not get into the politics of Tonight We Race's incident count.
Wanted to remind myself of that
Can we do
thing real
20
quick.
for everybody
race to
but
20.
Conan?
A little bit of a slow start here.
Launching these TCR cars is weird. Half of them have a launch control, but they're all convoluted, engaging secondary clutches and pressing a different button that
Oh
you
boy,
have
I
to
don't like
map
being
and
back
so
here
on
for
and so
turn
on.
one.
Hounds and hounds.
Oh
no.
no! There's been an incident. Conan a 10th of the way through his incident count already. Or 10%.
It turns out a 10th and 10% are
My brain
the
was,
same number.
yeah, my ADD brain was like, that's not wrong. Sometimes I think I'm wrong.
Oh, cuts it right in there, but does not bring the speed with him, and Duffy is looking to take that back.
Who was that involving
On the
there?
apex.
It
You know
was-
what you
obviously,
did.
Conan had an off. Did he do that to himself? Or
Is
collect
that the
some-
blue flag livery? Pod 1 and 3. That's the potato lobster livery.
Okay, so that was a...
That is a fratricide right there. It was an inter broadcast studio knifing there. Good on that exit.
Oh, okay, so Potato Lobster's, who's right in front of Duffy here, we're seeing.
That
the
is
flat
correct.
car.
Too fast.
Trying to get the liveries get my head wrapped around the liveries.
Again, next season, standardized
Black
livery,
chain
standardized
guys, man.
numbers.
I'm excited for it. I think it's cool.
Everyone else's timing chains last too long.
That was an off track.
It's like Dr. Gould just took a quick
Sorry,
detour off
Connie,
that
you can go ahead
compound
and throw it
right-hander.
in.
And
Thank you.
Duffy behind
John sucked
Space
me off in
Bunnies,
that corner.
or behind Potato Lobster here, taking an interesting line.
Conan is currently in
dimple,
position
you know?
4.
So what do we got? We got Tom
Yep.
Always got that smooth arrow.
It's Tom.
I got
So I will remind us that we're looking for a gap of 2 cars, or rather 2 position difference.
Conan, did you get an off track
I
there?
think it's drgould in the first place.
Is it?
I did.
Drgould,
Oh,
then
God,
Tom.
I got distracted.
Shote,
Got
can
a
I have the
second one.
scores?
Oh no, what is that? That's a big off.
That is Dr. Gould up front, followed by Tom.
That's a.
This race could change everything.
This is getting interesting.
Wow, you guys are way better at this.
God, these TCR cars are just fun. They're fun to watch.
Look at the size of those fender flares.
Looks good.
They should take a cue from the legends and just take off the fender flares. Just let the tires stick out like they
Well,
let them air
I
out.
guess went off track.
Space Puny's in position 3. Is that what I'm seeing
And
here?
this is what I like to see too. Like, we still have a tight pack. We've got a reasonable, pretty big gap from first to second place forming already, but the rest of our racers here are pretty close.
This was
Within spinning distance.
This is basically what we were asked
This
for.
is what we
this
were
season.
looking for
That
with
someone
the
said
light-
we want the
with
racing to be tighter, and this is tight racing.
Yeah.
Tighter racing. Last race was tight racing. More like snow plowing, but who can say?
Ooh, Duffy having an off here. Into the sand. Can he keep it pointed the right way? He can. Good move.
Reminding everybody that at 20 incidents, we incur the first penalty. Looks like everybody is making light of their budget.
Penalties.
Space Punies doesn't even have it up. He doesn't care.
Does that move look familiar?
He ain't scared of no ghosts.
You know, turnabout is fair play, I guess.
And Potato Lobster at 4. So we're
we're
approaching a quarter of the way into this race, and people have burned through about a quarter of their incidents.
Yeah.
Did you run when you were younger?
Like from anything in particular? Or?
No, I mean like in a structured format where like you start from the same place and then you go to the same place, and then they measure how long it took you to go from point 1 to point 2.
Yeah, you're asking if I did like track and field. No, not really. I mean, you know, I did some
I always got scolded for like saving it for the end, which is apparently not a thing that you're supposed to do in distance running. You're supposed to meter it out at a very constant pace over the course of the race.
Right.
Which is what everyone's doing here with their incident counts. Except for Space Punies,
Yeah,
who's
last
saving it all for the
Who
end.
doesn't want anybody to know what is it. Honestly, it's metagaming at this point. He keeps his page down so we can't see what his incident count is. We can still see what his incident count is.
I mean, we could go ask the Oracle if we really wanted to.
Exactly.
Well, there you go.
1.
That's Dr. Gould with a 0.0 incidents. Oh, look at him flow through
You'll note
that.
also our race leader, Dr. Gould, that is.
Race the cleanest, race the best.
Stepped out on me a little bit.
Duffy in clean air. Space Punies going over some curbs, making the compound right that separates Suzuka East from Suzuka West. And about to enter the hairpin with 2 cars in immediate traffic in front of him. Here we go. Nice and tight, just kisses the apex on the throttle immediately. It's nice when the positional play is not all about who's making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Hate this turn. Hate it so much.
It's a really tricky one, especially in these front-wheel drive cars. Easy to get around, hard to do perfect.
Because like
and
you want to exit that at the absolute maximum possible velocity because of this straight.
Exactly. It's,
So
it's big
you
impact.
you anticipate and you get on it early, and you cannot
Yeah.
do that.
Well, this is what we were talking about here as well when we talk like racecraft and like race theory is like that's a place where it really behooves you to not follow the iRacing suggested line.
Yep.
Because the iRacing suggested line there is not maximizing for the exit speed down that straight where it's really impactful on the
If
overall
we
outcome.
were not doing 3 new tracks every night with no practice in between, I'd say we just turn the thing off.
Yeah, but with the type of format we do and the way these racers are put through so much different stuff, it makes perfect sense to have it on. It's a great little reference.
Unless you're Richo, who demanded that it be turned off.
Well, it's a different thing entirely to be to know it's there and to know when you shouldn't follow it.
Yep,
And
yep.
that's racecraft.
Speaking of racecraft, the gap between Space Punies and Offside and drgould still maintaining constant about a second each way, depending on where you measure it from. They're going to enter the compound decreasing. Nope, right the first time. Increasing radius left. How do numbers work? Which, in the full configuration of the course, carrying through the straight, so important.
Space Pony's in the Honda here. Doesn't have the drive that the Audi he's following is going to have.
He's got the brakes, so he should be winning this fight in the braking zones. Show, could we get a blimp or a copter cam? Let's see what's going on out in the field. Well, that's problematic. He'll be fine. Looks like we've got a big chunk here about, well, it's the same 1, 2, 3. A little bit of traffic, then 4, 5. A little bit, yeah. I think we're watching the right fight, frankly.
Yeah, I think so. Watching Conan go around here as they come up to the chicane.
Where did he wind up after that? So he's back into position 5. Offside needing an average of 3.3 points per race on Conan if he wants to snatch the championship at this point. And if things stand the way they are right now, he's going to get more than that share of this race.
Yeah, I really botched that one, huh?
Conan 3.3 seconds on the Utah crew. Which is an achievable gap for Conan.
124.7.
That's about half a second less than the qualifiers.
That's another thing you generally don't see in real life racing. But we get here because they just don't have that much time to practice. So the lap times tend to increase as they get more laps on.
Here we have, I want to say this is Space Punies coming up on...
I believe that's Knox Offsides.
Yeah.
Which is the fight for second, really.
Space Punies currently in 4th, but not outside of 3rd by very much, quite frankly. Watch it from his point of view.
Living up to what we were saying about being our cleanest racer, still only one incident that includes off track.
A little too early last time.
One incident, and that includes cursing. He's also sitting on a 124.5. Look at that.
Don't follow him and get on the gas early and maximize that drive.
There we go. There we go.
See, this is where this is interesting. Can he hold on to the slipstream, or will the Audi just pull away on power here? Looks like it's going to just pull away on power. Got to get a little closer into that braking zone to make that work, but I think he's putting on a lot of pressure here.
Takes that nice and tight.
Good line through there and right back on the gas. He's closing the gap.
He knows you should
using
be
the
fighting
superior braking on the Honda to close that.
Looks like a little late on the gas there. It's a fine line between pushing the front on these cars because you get on the gas too quickly, and actually, I suppose I should say pulling the front around.
So the moral of the story here is he has the pace.
But
does he have the racecraft to convert?
He's looking at a 124.4 right now and lowering, so if he can keep it going.
I'd argue that his times are artificially gummed up right now because of this fight.
I was just saying last time he needs to keep that gap nice and tight there so he can hold on to the draft down the back straight.
I want to swap out to the Conan fight, but I'm afraid I'm going to miss a party here.
I think this is where the fun stuff is.
Conan's closed the majority of the gap to the Utah crew. Going to swap back in here to the Space Punies fight because that is what I think is going to pop first. Oh, whoops, sorry. You can click me for that. Thank you.
Oh, we have an incident count. Looks like it was an off track. But he was able to hold on to the draft through here.
Yep. Cutting in nice and tight there.
Quick dip on the gas or on the brakes to get the car to rotate in.
I think he thought about going inside there briefly and then thought against it.
Doesn't quite have the drive to make a pass happen through there. But he's absolutely putting on the pressure. Oh, it looks like Offside's got a much better drive out of there. This is good racing.
We're going to pop back out to the spectator cam here so we can look at the clusters. And that's really what we have right now. We have two tight fights that could go any way at this
For
point.
second and third and fourth and fifth, which is Knox and Space Poonies and Conan and the Utah crew.
Yeah.
In no particular order.
Just trying to pressure Mike.
Both of these fights matter for
That's
the
Mike's
standings. Everything happening right now is
Nobody's better at that
meaningful
than
to the
me.
championship.
Honestly, really impressed with what Tom is putting down right now and with what the Utah crew is putting down right now. It is not easy holding down lap after lap after lap with someone breathing down your neck.
Oh no, I totally get sloppy when
This
I've got
is-
someone staring at me in my rear view.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that Dr. Gould, despite all that, hasn't actually pulled all that far away. He's only maybe 4 seconds up on number 2 here. Oh,
Oh, both of us did that cut.
never follow your other driver's line.
Never follow. Ooh, on the brake.
Solid 100% brake all the way through there.
Can he
looked
make
like
it
it.
work on the gas
Oh,
to
yeah.
not give that
He's
gap
early,
up?
but it's good.
I'm just
It's riding that rev
hard
limiter
locked
a
on
little
your
long, I think.
420 on your car.
Actually, I haven't seen any data on the torque curves of these cars.
Yeah,
but
where they peak out and should be shifted.
But I know for things like the V, you could be riding it all the way to the rev limit, but maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah, but maybe not. Ooh. Ooh, that's what we want to see.
Don't look away.
We don't want to be able to see the exhaust can sticking out the back of that Audi.
What a weird thing. What a weird way to do exhaust. Why would you do that?
Don't know.
Touring car specs are weird, man. They're religious about weird
Ooh.
things, and then they throw everything out. Like, so for instance, the rear suspension on these cars must be effectively stock with some minor modifications. Front suspensions, freeform, don't care.
That is interesting. That is really weird, actually.
Show what do you got over there? Ah, the motion the motion sickness camera. Oh. He did think about it. We saw him
sizing
thinking
up.
about it.
Knox is faster through this zone really consistently. So it would behoove John
that was
to
good
make it
move.
happen before that
Thank you.
zone so he can't run away and then do a block. That's where he's got the pace
Oh,
coming
you
up through
got
there.
me.
Oh, that might be that.
I'm now wrapped.
I think our fight is actually between Conan and the Utah crew now.
That got super spicy. Could I get a rear-facing suspension cam on Utah crew? Give me a rear. I mean, that looks like a rear suspension cam. What are you talking about?
That's the one we want, the safety car right there. Why does iRacing give you cameras from the safety car after the race has started?
So this is what Utah crew is driving with in the mirrors, which is unsettling.
Which is a very scary thing.
We're gonna this is the front version and the back version, and the front version and the back version. Conan's in concentration mode. He doesn't have one of his ear cups off listening to us assholes.
Can he make this happen?
Not here, but at the next one. Just needs the drive out of this.
So what's interesting about this too is this is the
Yup.
Space Poonies Knox fight with the vehicles switched. Conan, in this case, the chaser is in the Audi, so you can see how much he
much better
can.
than the
Oh,
Audi.
makes it happen.
Those
But you see how much he was able to pull and close that
thank
gap
you for
on
making
that
a little
back
space for me
straight because
there.
he's got that extra power coming.
I knew
through
you were
there.
going to hit me.
I didn't though.
We'll review
why I
that
moved.
one in post.
You knew I was
I
willing. to
did
hit.
see the
Yeah,
incident.
that's what I meant.
No, I don't think the incident
Even
count did
without a
go
safe
up. He
word,
had
you were
8
just gonna
going
fucking
into
do
that.
it.
He just got his 9th for an off track, so they didn't make contact in that.
We consented when we loaded into this game.
Good stuff.
Better to
Space
get out of
Penny's
the
fight
system here
still
than
relevant.
race.
We have 3 minutes remaining, which
I'm
means
gonna
these
have
guys
an
have
issue,
just
I think.
over. We'll have 3 laps left
Basically, yeah.
of racing here.
Real world issue?
Space Ponies has
Get a
3
cat
laps
on your
to
foot?
make this happen.
No,
He's
we'll
been
see.
saving 17 incidents for
Hey,
this
did you
very
play
moment.
it real tight with fuel?
Is it gas?
I might have.
Oh no.
Fuel.
Do I increase your fuel usage if I'm drafting off you?
Did I just hear that somebody might be running out of
Actually
gas?
decreases
Oh, no.
the fuel usage.
Yeah,
I mean, the fuel. Oh,
weird
wow.
thing about aerodynamics is the vehicle in front
The
is
the
quite
fuel
beneficial to
loads.
draft.
Your pit crew, your pit chief only tells you when you've got about 5 laps remaining, and these guys have 3 laps
So,
remaining, so they
Tom,
should
Yeah,
be
so if
fine.
somebody just got the warning, they'll be totally fine.
Oh, you're going to. I just
It's almost
got
like
that.
we planned it like this.
Oh, did you get BF'd? I really fucked up that goal.
Space Penny's just lost a half a second there.
Yeah.
That's not going to go well for him.
You like that?
2 minutes on the clock.
I like that.
So what position? Conan is now in 4th position, having made that pass stick.
And could we get the standings up? There we go.
yep.
So that's
So
with
drgould
Tom
with a
up
comfy
front, he
lead.
gets 4 points on Conan, which is what he needed, and Dr. Gould's going to get more. Which wasn't the fight we were tracking, but it may be after this.
Yeah. Conan still has a comfy lead, but those 2 people that are up there in front of him are currently right where they need to be.
Well, it's important also to remember that they need to do that every race from here until the end of the season to make that position change. But the journey of 4 steps starts with 1 step.
There's a good point.
Yeah, they're so strict on that left. Two left.
Worst application of Zen.
This isn't the white flag. Oh, that's bad news bears for me.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, not
Or
sorry.
you're just playing with me that I just like
That
don't
Honda
push
has
and
the
hope
alley
that
on
you-
the brakes, but I don't think John can get in position to make that
Run
pass
out.
It's
happen
just
there.
not his style to
No.
enter that fight
That's
through
exactly
braking.
it.
Well, I
It's-
got someone
it's
to
not
draft
his
you.
racing style to make the pass there, which I think is interesting. To that degree, I think perhaps the Honda isn't really the car that fits his passing style.
It's going to cost you a season point to draft.
Yeah.
Okay, they've started trading season points. We need to have a.
Who do we got here? I think we found a back marker, so this might get a little
Coming on the
interesting.
left.
Everybody did that with
Thank you.
0 drama.
Well done.
Thanks
It's
for not
almost
sucking
like
me
we
off
know
in
what
the
we're doing
corner.
at this point.
I only got the
Yeah,
stamina.
you got to
Good
go
job,
to
gentlemen.
the
That was
bleachers for
clean.
that.
Nice to see a plan come together.
That's what we like to see.
17 seconds left. We're going to start seeing some white
Oh,
and checkered
not like
flags
this.
here.
Oh,
I mean, you're gonna pass me.
Oh,
anyways.
no.
I think we
gotta
just
get
saw
some-
Space
Ponies
Bees fly
made
through
it
there.
through.
What happened?
So
Oh,
he's
you're
still
literally on
got.
the pit right now?
Are they
Yeah, I
gonna?
was
They're
trying to
not gonna
figure out
cross
how
the
to
finish
not
line
replace
before
my
the
tires.
one. So
Oh,
one lap
no.
remaining. Is Space Pony's gonna be able to defend
White flag.
the position he just
I
got?
don't know.
That's
Oh no.
What happened?
I'm sad.
That is really disappointing. I'm sorry, buddy.
Did somebody run out of gas?
I don't know how to not get my tires fast enough. It's
We're hearing a
not
lot of
working.
disappointed groaning from our team, but nobody is telling us what's happened.
I choose to.
got
I
really
choose to
loud.
say that.
He is slowing down aggressively.
This is
He
so
might be in a low
long.
power map because he's out of gas or something. He is just getting passed.
give me a
That
fucking
is
gallon.
great
Let's go.
news for Conan's race result.
just a spritz.
Is this how he does it?
Just shoot a little on the windscreen. Let's
The
get
laws
back
of the
to it.
universe bend to allow it.
I'm sure we'll find out what happens here
What
at
are
the
you
end.
morons
for Red
doing?
Bull.
We're gonna have a lot to talk about
We're
during
gonna
Bring a
have a lot
Trailer,
to
aren't
talk
we?
about.
Around your car.
This is, I'll say it and I'll say it again. I've seen
Yes, sir. We'll get it shined up
having
real
run a
nice
number
for
of
you.
sim racing leagues, like I've seen people lose a race in the final lap because they run out of gas. I've never seen somebody win a race
Now I gotta deal with
because
cold
they crossed
tires.
the finish line with 1 liter of fuel in their tank. You know what I mean? It's like, it's
a man.
bring an extra. My personal margin on a
It's up and up, it's my
25-minute
birthday.
race was always an extra 4 laps of fuel.
Yeah.
There's like, there's no 4 to 5 laps of fuel. There's no other, fuel mapping I'm gonna run that's gonna burn that extra fuel. That's a bummer. If that's what happened, we still don't actually know.
We're gonna follow Conan across the line here,
Oh boy.
Lead lap.
Mike, that was very nicely done.
But I have to assume.
Oh man.
and across the line, and also across the line, and done. coming about.
Will I get Will I get black flagged if I get my 20th point after the finish line?
Test it and find out.
Space Beauty's answer,
that was
asking the hard
spicy.
questions. All right, and that's everybody.
All right, somebody tell us what happened.
So let's see what the machine says here, which was that race was won by Dr. Gould, followed by Space Punies in second, and then Conan in third, and the Utah crew in fourth. Something happened to Blue Flag and Offside. What happened there?
Yeah, I don't. Conan, what happened there?
Tom ran out of fuel on the cooldown on the last lap.
Oh no!
Tom ran out of fuel. Did he modify his fuel in his setup?
He may have.
May have.
You don't. Yep.
Well, we'll talk about that as we go because it is time to
Mistakes at speed. Welcome to Tonight We Race.
take a break and go to the Bring a Trailer Challenge. And for the Bring a Trailer Challenge, we of course challenge our drivers for 1 league point to answer the question, which of these two things on Bring a Trailer that finished their auction today went for more money. And in order to do that, I am going to need potato lobster. Goals, I'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
Get my notes out here. It's the segment of the show that I absolutely need my notes for.
All right.
How was your drive?
You know what? It was good. We kept it on the track the whole time.
I think that might be the least dramatic drive that we've ever had here.
I guarantee it.
Cool. All right. So it's gonna be a little bit of a throwback.
Excellent.
We've done something like this before, and the reason that we are doing it again is because apparently there's been some confusion in it. What?
Black bar of death.
What the? That's supposed to be a whole thing. Where? Hold on.
What if we go one more? Does it?
Before we abandon this session, so I'm going to ask you to go look that way and don't look over here. Pretend like we're in elementary school and you need to
no peeking.
You need to not peek, and let's see what just happened to these slides. I think that the run deck just broke, so we're going to refresh the run deck. Weird. All right. Cool. Well, here you go.
Can I look now?
Yeah, you can look now.
All right. Here we go.
It's
you Testarossa.
an 87 Testarossa.
That's hot.
Or a 4-piece luggage set for a Ferrari 348 by Shidoni. Would you like to hear about your options?
I sure would.
I would love to know why they are not showing up on the same screen here.
Because they're two entirely different items. It's just they're not even in the same class.
We have never had Google Slides errors on the show before. I'm going to take my licks here. We're going to count that one as a production error. And we're going to keep moving. And I'm going to be very careful about how I breeze through here so that I don't accidentally show you the price slide. Point being,
all right,
let's talk about the Testarossa. This is an 87 with 35,000 miles on it. It was purchased by the seller in 2024. Subsequent work included a dry ice blasting of the underside, which sounds so much fun. Rebuilding the water pump and the alternator, converting the air conditioning system to use R134, very green. Replacing the timing belt, spark plugs, drive belts, fuel filter, thermostat, front brake components.
Very Ferrari.
Powered by the 4.9-liter flat 12, an amazing engine, paired to a 5-speed manual transaxle. The car's finished in Nero over beige Connolly leather. Also includes limited slip 2B exhaust center lock 16-inch wheels. It is offered with its full service records, manufacturer's literature, and a clean Carfax report.
Oh.
It is registered in California.
Excellent. So it probably gets driven.
Probably gets driven. 6,800 RPM redline at the factory, produced 380 horsepower and 354 foot-pounds of torque, which was just absolutely unheard of in 1987 on a production road car. It is matched with
Don Johnson's fever dream, I tell you.
Get us out of the way here. The 4-piece luggage set for the Ferrari 348, which was produced by Shidoni of Modena. Each piece is constructed of tan leather with a beige interior lining and features contrasting stitching, brass hardware, and a debossed Ferrari prancing horse logo. It was bought by the seller in 2024, and the set is now offered at no reserve from Glen Clove, New York, with padlocks, keys, key wallets, luggage tags, and a Velocity stack-style pen holder. The large one is large, the medium one is medium, and the small one is small. They both have twin leather loops. and closure straps. So as we learned from the previous time doing this segment, we need to read about the interior if it has started cracking because the interior liners on these die. Each piece carries a leather patch attached to its liner. No cracking. And so there you go. You got to tell me whether
top condition.
The Testarossa went for more money or the leather, because apparently there's been some confusion on this point.
You know, usually I'm hell-bent for leather, but in this case I have to go with my heart and say the Testarossa.
I'd say I'm going to tell you what the answer is, but I actually don't know what the next slide press is going to do here. Let's discover together. It's going to put both of them on the screen at the same time and then make one disappear.
Let's go!
The Testarossa wins it. I don't know what happened to the deck here. We're going to have to figure it out. That is Potato Lobster, worth 1 challenge point for you.
Let's go. Count it.
And I am deeply worried about what is going to happen next now.
You're trending in the right direction.
Bring me Space Beauties.
All right.
What is up with the deck tonight?
The car.
Of course it was the car. It's never not the car.
That was so mean.
How was that mean? I felt like the Testarossa had been greatly disparaged last time it came through here, and we had to put one back together. How was your
We had to
drive?
make it pack its bags.
That was a really great drive.
That was real fun. That was real fun, and I do not like getting a place that way. So
we were, I don't know how much of us you heard, we were commenting basically through that entire fight that while he had the straight line performance, you had the superior braking, but taking someone in a braking zone by outbraking them isn't really your style.
And and especially Tom. Tom's super good at defending his line. That I knew, that's why I was laughing, because I knew he would pop out in front of me in it, and so I was very happy that he did that because I read him correctly.
All right, you ready for this?
Yes.
We don't know if these slides are going to work because apparently something detonated between last week and this week. But
all right.
Your first thing
Okay.
is a 2003 Honda S2000.
I bet that went for $31,000.
And it is going to be paired with, oh my God, the slides are working again, a 2001 Audi TT Roadster 225 Quattro 6-speed.
I don't know Audi. Does the 225 mean anything?
I don't think so,
Okay.
but let's talk through it.
Okay.
The S2000, let's get us out of the way here.
Okay.
The S2000 has remained registered in Texas from new, now has 64,000 miles on it. It is, of course, powered by the 2-liter VTEC inline-4 linked to a 6-speed manual transmission with a limited slip. Having seen under the hood of many of these, I can tell you that the vast majority of the space under that hood is empty because the nose is so long. Concludes 16-inch 5-spoke alloy wheels, black convertible soft top, xenon headlights, air conditioning, aftermarket shift knob, CD stereo, and cruise control. This one was purchased in 2021 and is now offered with the owner's manual, clean Carfax, and a Texas title. The color was apparently Suzuka blue, which was popular and rare. Photos of the body panel VIN stickers are available in the gallery. 3-spoke leather-wrapped wheels, 8,900 RPM redline, which is kind of an awful lot. 3,000 miles.
car.
Yeah, all right, bike guy. And at the factory, this inline-4 is producing 240 horsepower, which is an awful lot for an inline-4 in 2003.
Yeah, but it's all the way up here.
And 153 foot-pounds of torque, and the spark plugs were replaced in 22.
Okay.
The TT, on the other hand, 2001 TT Roadster, initially sold in California, has since been registered elsewhere. Dealer acquired it in 2025, so this is a rapid flip powered by a turbocharged 1.8-liter inline-4.
It's a what? A rapid what?
A rapid flip, as in the seller has recently purchased that car. That they,
I was like, I've never heard of that.
They put a coat of spray paint on and then flipped it right back out. 17-inch alloy wheels, xenon headlights, rear spoiler, heated seats, automatic climate control, CD cassette stereo system, 56,000 miles on it. This is, of course, connected up to the Audi Quattro system. However, I will note that in these smaller Quattro applications, these are Haldex differentials and not Torsen, which Audi diehards think are the inferior differential configuration. 160 mile an hour speedo, 6,600 RPM redline. It was repaired for its instrument cluster in 2025. The seller noting that it has had they fixed this. Dead pixels in the computer display. At the factory, 225 horsepower and 207 foot-pounds of torque, largely due to the turbocharger, passed a California emissions test in June of last year.
Yeah.
And now you have to tell me
And
which of these cars went for more money.
the great Audi TT feature that you don't know if it's going forwards or backwards.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like it was a controversial styling choice for Audi. And this is not terribly far after VW did the new bug.
Yeah.
And so, like, round cars were kind of sort of back in. Like,
Yeah.
PT Cruiser came out around this time period. I don't think it's pretty. I think they've made pretty TTs. I do not think the first one is pretty at all. I think
Yeah.
that's an ugly car.
Yeah, me too.
I actually don't find the S2000 attractive in any way at all either. But
Hard
that's-
disagree.
But that's on me. So what do you got?
Just from what my Facebook Marketplace always shows for S2000s, they go for an insane amount of money for a 20-plus-year-old car. And I have to think that S2000 is more than that Audi TT by like 10 grand.
Let's find out.
Yeah, okay.
By about
okay.
9 grand.
Yeah.
Space Beauties, not only did you nail
Finally.
the answer, you nailed the gap.
Finally.
One challenge point for you.
I just want to say I do not have the mental bandwidth for a G-Wagon, and I thank you so much for that. Thank you. Okay, who am I getting?
Bring me Duffy. I'm glad the slides work. Let's hope they work this time too. Made it in Word. I wish, man. I wish. That was a simpler time.
Okay, do I get luggage?
You do not get luggage. Did you want luggage?
No.
Good. How was your drive?
It was good. I mean, compared to the previous 4 weeks or whatever.
Do you think the practice time helped?
Practice definitely helped, yeah. Like, just getting the slightest bit of technique, like, really helped me clean up my corners. I was getting faster. I was paying attention to where I was fast and not feeling like I completely blew a lap and then just doing whatever.
So you got value out of that.
Yeah,
You're saying that there might be some sort of value in coming to a simulation racing lab and paying money for seat time. Is that what you're telling me?
Potentially.
All right.
I'm driving faster, so.
We obviously don't
That's what we're all
charge our
trying to
drivers.
do.
So let's talk about your challenge for tonight. Worth one challenge point to you. It's either
Triumph.
a 2025 Triumph Bonneville T120 Elvis Presley limited edition, which I did not know was a thing until approximately 6 hours
Why
ago.
does that even need to be a thing?
Right? And it is paired up tonight with a 1970 Schwinn Stingray P picker.
Dude, my friend
crate
AJ
bicycle.
owned one of those, and you could ride since he was a kid, but continued to own it as an adult. Owns a bike shop and can ride wheelies still, like all the way, like around blocks on it.
So I know nothing about this bike. Is this bike special?
Dude, that's special. It's got a 3-speed on it on the.
You don't want to let you
on
narrate.
the
Go ahead.
shifter here. Plus, like if you look at the seat back there, that's suspension in those seat stanchions.
No
So
shit.
You're kind of bouncing along, keeping your, yeah. That was like, if you had this, like you were the coolest kid on the block.
You are mostly correct. Let's go through the stats. The Triumph is number 141 of 925 Elvis Presley limited edition examples, one for each pound at the King's death. It was a tribute to the late performer and in celebration of the 9 Triumph motorcycles purchased by Elvis in 1965 for his Memphis Mafia friends. I wouldn't be able to identify who that is, but it sounds important. Finished in Carnival Red and Aluminum Silver with commemorative graphics, the bike is powered by a 1,197 cubic centimeter single overhead cam parallel twin paired with a 6-speed transmission. It's got 18 and 17-inch alloy rims, anti-lock triple disc brakes, preload adjustable shocks, electronic fuel injection, lots and lots and lots of things. It takes its styling cues from Elvis Presley's 68 Comeback Special, 3.8 gallon fuel tank, fenders finished in Carnival Red. Handlebar clamp is engraved with Elvis's signature. Numbers identifying the bike as 141. It has a 130 mile an hour speedo and an 8K tack. At the factory, it was rated for 79 horsepower and 77 foot-pounds of torque. And given that it's less than a year old, I would hope that it's still making those numbers or something very close to it. There is currently a lien on the vehicle, and the seller's lender will need to be paid off before the title can be transferred.
Classic.
You do not want to see that on Bring a Trailer. That is not a good sign.
Sounds like an easy transaction.
Boop. The Schwinn 1970 Stingray is a P-Picker Crate Edition cycle that features a filet braised cantilever frame, banana seat supported by rear spring-loaded sissy bar, 5-speed drive chain operated by an automotive-style stick shift and rear derailleur. The bike rides on chrome wire spoke wheels measuring 16 inches up front, 20 inches in the rear. Further equipment includes chrome girder fork, rear rim brake, front drum brake, high-rise handlebar, chrome fenders, and this P-Picker is now offered at no reserve in Massachusetts with a bill of sale. This is actually one of a lot of 6 different colored crate bicycles, and the seller actually has, as you can see from the background of that image there, they have one of each, which is kind of interesting.
Wow. And are they original, or are they like...
As far as I know, they're original, and they are all up for sale, and they all went for approximately the same value.
And they were individual auctions? Or
yeah, individual auctions. Pedal power sent to the rear wheels through a forged crank arm, turning a mag sprocket variable ratio 5-speed derailleur operated by the stick shift. It's got all of its serial numbers consistent with the June 70 production date. And now you know everything that I know about the bicycle, and all you have to do is tell me which one of these two vehicles, being very loose with the term, went for more money.
I mean, it's probably the Schwinn. Even though, like, the Triumph is a lot of money, I bet somebody spent dumb money on that bike.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Chat, you got something? I would have expected screaming by now out of the chat, so let's go ahead and press the button and see what you got.
Survey says...
It is the Schwinn.
Look at that.
It's the Schwinn by about $3,000.
Holy crap.
Turns out...
I'm surprised that that's as low as it was. I don't really know what I haven't been, like, pricing bikes in a long time, so...
Like, neither of these are kind of in my world, but I can, like, just from, like, being particular about certain things, I can understand how a person that's very particular about bicycles would be all over that bike.
If that's the original seat and the original grips, like, if just those were swapped out, that'd probably be like a, $9,000 bike or something. But when you have every last piece that's complete like that.
One challenge point for you. That makes us 3 for 3 tonight so far. And that brings us to the final challenge. Please bring me Conan.
Conan.
Conan, I'd ask you how your drive was, but we were following you for most of it, so I think we've got a pretty clear idea. How did it feel, though?
It felt great. It's racing with Mike is really fun because Mike is an excellent driver. And so a very minor mistake that I was able to capitalize on is the only reason I got by him. There was basically no way to do that without bullying him out of the way.
And that was a 3rd finish for you, correct? Or was it a 4th finish?
I think that was 3rd because Tom ended up having to refuel.
That increases the number of points that Tom needs to take you for this season by approximately 2 per race.
Yeah, I think the really dangerous person is Derek, though.
Yep, and we'll run that math shortly.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I have something special for you.
Oh, boy.
Wow. Dreisel says a new T120 Elvis edition is $15,500. So it's lost value. The king has lost value. That's unfortunate. All right, you ready for this?
That's pretty typical for motorcycles, let's be honest.
Tonight, you get either
oh boy,
a 2005 Carrera GT or the Lexus LFA.
Oh, I mean,
2 cars that the sellers could not even be bothered to submit their photographs in the correct form factor for, because who is going to tell them no? We had to do custom crafting for this challenge. Would you like to hear about these cars?
Yes.
Or would you like to tell me about these cars?
I mean, the things that I know about the Carrera GT are that it apparently has like a clutch system where you're supposed to just drop the clutch and it fixes it for you.
And it killed Paul Walker.
And it killed Paul
And
Walker.
those
are
the
2
things
facts that I know.
Yeah.
What I know about the LFA is that it's got a carbon fiber monocoque that's made by like the raddest assembly process that has ever existed. It has a Screaming V10.
Yes, in fact, they're both V10s.
Yeah, and it is like apparently a criminally underrated and undersold driver's car, But that is, I've never obviously had the chance to.
You've kind of got to the punchline for me, but everything that you just said is true. The Carrera GT has so many amazing things about it, and in my opinion, so many things wrong about it. Let's get to the stats. There were only 1,270 examples produced. This one has 11,000 miles on it. The current owner bought it in 2019. It's had a bunch of work on it, including replacing the clutch assemblies, camshafts, tires, trailing arms, as well as installing new Öhlins TTX coilovers. It's finished in GT Silver Metallic, which basically all of them were, for all intents and purposes, over terracotta leather. It is a 5.7-liter V10, which is basically the only V10 Porsche's ever done, as far as I'm concerned. Previous stints into open wheel notwithstanding. 6-speed manual transaxle, and it's a huge ball gear shift. XT size seats, 19 and 20 inch center lock wheels, Porsche Online Pro CD stereo, offered in Scottsdale, Arizona, which means it probably hasn't experienced a whole bunch of moisture. Still has its Porsche Classic Technical Certificate, Owner's Manual Service Records, Clean Montana title. When it was new, this engine was producing, I think this is the multi-page notes on this guy. Yeah, this particular V10 was producing 605 horsepower at 8,000 RPM and 435 foot-pounds of torque at 5,700. I should note that when it was purchased, or rather when it was taken to Porsche of Colorado Springs in February 25, it had its camshafts, clutch assembly, clutch release module, ignition coil, spark plugs, water pump belt, power steering belt, cylinder head, coolant line, tappets, tensioner, rollers, engine and cabin air filters, various seals, O-rings, and more replaced.
How many miles are on it?
11,000. 11,000.
It is truly incredible that the camshafts needed to be done at 11,000 miles.
I do not argue with you on that point.
Like I do not there isn't, at least with like the standard 911 platforms, you're like, oh, there's enough of them out there that you can be like, well, yeah, these ones blow IMS bearings, but like, is this uncommon? Nobody knows.
The LFA. This is LFA number 10 of 500 built during its 2-year production run. Was produced for the Canadian market prior to being imported in the U.S. in 2023, which turned out to be one of the only ways you could get one because they were that rare. Now has 3,800 miles on it. It is finished in whitest white over red leather upholstery, powered by a 4.8-liter V10 linked with a 6-speed automated sequential gearbox and Torsid limited slip differentials, which differential nerds will tell you are the good stuff. Car was optioned with carbon composite bodywork, bi-xenon headlights, carbon ceramic brake rotors, Brembo calipers, 20-inch BBS alloys wheels, a Mark Levinson audio system, Lexus Insider infotainment system with voice command and navigation, acquired by the seller in 2025 and is now offered in California at no reserve with clean Carfax and an Ohio title. You already know the history of how this car was produced, and so we're going to skip over that. 10-way power adjustable seats, 12-speaker sound system, plaque listing the car as number 10 is riveted to the rear bulkhead. This 4.8-liter V10 was developed in collaboration with Yamaha, features titanium valves and connecting rods, forged pistons. It was rated, and Lexus was notorious for underrating these cars, rated at 552 horsepower and 354 foot-pounds of torque at the factory. So, a couple things going on here.
I didn't know that you could option those with carbon composite panels. That's actually like unsurprising, but very cool.
The question was, how much carbon did you put into the car?
Yeah, exactly. And then the other thing that's great is how terrible do you think the voice-activated, infotainment system on a 13-year-old Lexus LFA? Like, I don't think it quite does the like pre-AI kickflip, you know?
So how much of a conversation do you want to have before you make this call?
I'm just going with the Porsche because that's what it is. Like that's the heart. That's what the heart wants. Like the heart wants a V10 Porsche, even though it's probably wrong because it's always wrong.
Conan says it's the Porsche. Dreisel says it's the Porsche specifically because Porsche, which is usually a good reason.
A good bet here.
And the answer is the Porsche by almost $500,000.
What really sort of gets me about these cars is realizing that it doesn't matter what kind of mechanical work it needs, like it's still worth it. And I can't argue with that. Like I can't argue that the Carrera GT is like kind of a one-of-one car.
It is a one-of-one car. So like I put this in here because I disagree with it completely. Mm-hmm. Not because I think the Porsche isn't worth $1.4 million.
But because the LFA should be.
But the LFA should be, and there's a bunch of reasons for that. No, it is not as powerful. It is a little bit slower in the quarter mile, like 0.4 seconds slower in the quarter mile than the Porsche. It's a smaller engine. It has the best engine noise and dynamics in the business, full stop.
Yeah.
It has an interior that almost no one has ever matched since. It instills confidence and awe in the driver, whereas the Carrera GT instills terror. The Carrera GT is straight up hard to drive. It's the hardest to drive Porsche that has ever been made since the Widowmaker, the original GT2s.
Like Widowmaker 2, son of Widowmaker, yes.
And so, like, they made more of the Porsches. It's a harder car to drive. It kills celebrities. And
look, man, that's just more engagement. Okay? This is the world we live in.
Content is content.
That's right.
And the reality is that two people out there that voted with their wallets agreed completely.
The thing here that I would say about the LFA is, like, I wish that Lexus had made a, like, slightly detuned, slightly less carbon fiber filled. It would sort of defeated the point, but, like, give us the, like, Insano GT.
Do you want to know what that car is? It's
Yes.
called the Lexus LC500, and you can go out and buy it right now.
We are attempting to browbeat a buddy of ours into buying an LC500.
It is everything great that they learned about building that car in an almost as attractive package with one of the highest revving naturally aspirated V8s available anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it's. I
guess this is a Lexus commercial tonight.
I really hope he does it.
That's a point for you, buddy.
Thanks.
You know what happened? Everybody got a point tonight.
Oh, good.
Which is just as good as nobody getting a point.
Yeah, exactly.
Get in your pods.
Except that I get one up on the remote drivers, which is kind of important.
That might
right
actually
now.
matter at this point.
Yeah.
Boy, what a way to win a championship is by showing up. All right, let's move into Feature Race 2. Goals, welcome back. Any surprises?
Somehow I thought that luggage was going to be more expensive than Testarossa.
You thought I was going to find a way to engineer this such that the dead cow in urine was going to win this.
I'm a bit of a luggage connoisseur, so I just thought, you know.
Well,
although I did,
sorry to disappoint you.
I did like that the person who purchased that paid what was it, $1,348 for it or something like that, something to match that fact that it was for a 348 Ferrari.
What I kind of like is that Testarossas are almost affordable in the sports car arena now, and all you have to do is be able to afford to buy it a second and a third time to keep it running.
Yes.
So, we enter Feature Race 2, which is, of course, our second race for points tonight, back in the TCR spec cars. As you have seen in this very race this evening, which car you chooses matters a lot, also, especially because of your driving style. Space Puny's not being able to pull off his pass there because his car in the balance of power was a much better braker versus an accelerator. We're going to see some interesting stuff because we are going to take our cars to Winton Motor Raceway. What can you tell me about Winton, Goals?
Winton opened in 1961 and it's earned the nickname of Australia's action track.
What does that mean?
No fucking idea. I like it. My notes here say 6 decades of intense and exciting competition for what is now known as its club circuit.
Well, we're not doing the club circuit. We're actually doing the national circuit tonight, which is the larger of them.
Okay, but you typed these notes out.
No, actually, iRacing typed those notes out, and I put them into a Google document and then printed them for you and put them in a clipboard.
And I did no research besides looking at them like an hour ago.
And this is how our show works. Let's get out there and qualify. Oh, not that slide.
Yeah,
this button.
There we go.
No, jeez. Can't believe we went. Oh man, damn it.
Just one.
I'll take it.
That's not bad.
I'll take it. What are we at? 25.
We're at 26.
26.
So far.
What for what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Man.
Okay. 27. Not bad.
Wait, Feature Race 2 ran out of practice time? Yeah. I set it up for 2 hours. We were in there for 2 hours. God damn it.
That makes sense.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad the notes worked there. So everybody is up and running. That is excellent. They are in their final practice. We are going to advance the session into the qualifier, and away we go. As with all as with all feature races here, they are going to be a 2/10 qualifier. Oh, come on. Damn it.
That one was, like, not necessary, but I
You did it to do
I
it.
wanted it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
They're going to be 2 over 10, which means that they need to turn in, or rather, they will have the opportunity to turn in 2 clean laps to get their qualifying time, and they've got 10 minutes to make that happen. And of course, since it's a lone qualifier, they will not see each other out there in the track, despite iRacing's telemetry system telling their collision
Still telling
avoidance
it.
that
Yeah.
the other cars are actually out there. So
A clever way to save on server spin up costs and everything, right? You keep everybody in the same server, but make all the other cars invisible, and no impact.
Well, it's interesting because when you do a test drive in iRacing, it is actually spinning up a server binary locally for you to drive against. It's the same client-server architecture. But if you were able to do that as your practice, you might cheat. And so you can't do that for your actual online race.
That makes sense. Two more incidents and we get a black flag, by the way.
Really? That'd be amazing.
Just right here. I don't know what happens if we get a black flag, but
I'm pretty sure that the stream drops. And we all go home.
they just cut us off. YouTube shuts the channel down.
We're going to watch Space Punies here as he is sawing frantically on cold tires through this section.
Rude.
Which part, the sawing or the frantic?
I was giving Space Punies some tips based off of watching him from the previous race.
Was the tip to purchase the Audi next time? Look at that perfect S-curve on his throttle.
Beautiful. I was just looking at that. What a clean line. Not the tips I was giving him.
And he's out for his hot lap. So far, not seeing the designation of Australia's action track. Maybe we're in the wrong province. Where are we on Australia here? This is Victoria, I believe.
Drysdale will tell us. I think we're in Winton, Australia, is my guess.
Drysdale is a legitimate scientist, so when he says stuff... Oh, we were just talking about how we don't like scientists.
Yes, exactly.
Now I get it. Let's check in on Duffy. Science is cool. I concur.
Is cool. We don't actually dislike scientists.
We dislike science when it's funny to do so.
Yes,
which
exactly.
Apparently in modern America is constantly so. Yeah. Swapping over to Potato Lobster. Moving through a similar section of track.
Oh, I recall this racetrack from years ago in ACC.
Actually, now that I think about it, there is something valuable in the track notes tonight. I think I went out and I researched whether there has ever been a TCR race held on this track, and the answer for Winton was yes. Let's double check this here. Yeah, here we go. So not this version of the Hyundais, but the i30N, which was the predecessor of the Veloster and the Elantra. The track record in a TCR on this track is 124.3. And so if we see anything approaching that here tonight...
We're tickling previous real-life track records. It looks like drgould has come in with a 127.6, with most of our other racers in the 128, low 128.
Yeah, we're looking at low 128s here. We didn't tell them that ahead of time because having a time in mind when you're trying to qualify is not a healthy outlook.
It usually does not help. Yeah, this is I believe I raced this track in a GT4, maybe it was GT3s.
There's a lot of turning going on here.
It is a very active racetrack for the driver. And these TCR cars are deceptively heavy in the rigs. Like, the steering wheels require a lot of input. So we'll see some
we
some
do
tired
let our drivers dial their own wheel forces, but the majority of them live at 15, and 15 in this car is a lot of force.
It is a lot in the front wheel drive rigs.
So what I'm hearing is that I need to set up Feature Race 2 in future weeks with a 3-hour practice if we want to have you do the camera work up front. All right, we can do that. Spend 50 more cents of my imaginary iRacing dollars.
Of iRacing's iRacing dollars.
Of iRacing's iRacing dollars.
Even better. You should
Dang, okay.
This is how economy works.
Wait,
spin the servers up 3 days in advance.
We've got some real times here. It looks like Dr. Gould's going to bring it in with a 127.6, followed by Space Puny, the 127.7.
Ooh, Space Pony's Dr. Gould fight at the sharp, pointy end of the pack.
Yeah. Offside just came into the 127.9. This is shaping up to be a tight race. Duffy out there just pulled his checker. There it is. It's going to give him a 141, and I believe for the first time in a while, everybody's coming in
with a quali.
With a quali lap. That's great. The Utah crew underperforming versus their feature race 1 performance here.
Less than a full second between first place and 5th place. That's what we're seeing here. I like that.
That's tight. Well, this one matters an awful lot, so I guess we'll have to see how it goes.
Winton.
Where do you want to watch this one from? I'm thinking right here.
Let's get the follow. Let's get the follow cam on the whole pack, the overhead.
Yeah, sounds good.
Is that the heli? Is that the, or is there an actual like?
You could do like a far chase on pod 3.
Should we do like pod 2?
Of course, there is no pod 3 right now because no one's
up.
gridded in.
Yeah. That would be. I'm just thinking like on quality position. Why are these cars in different clubs?
Am I doing something? What am I waiting for?
Oh no, we're where we need to be. We're in the weight screen now.
It just closed out. It was just
Winton.
A little too close for my
It's not clear why it wants to take
yeah,
the extra seconds sometimes.
There, half second between first 5.
There we go.
There we go. Grid up. There we go.
Beautiful. Just one car hole in the front of the pack there. Boy, I really hope I set that to a standing start.
I don't see a pace car up there.
I don't see a third place car up there.
There we go.
All right.
Is this our grid one? It sure is. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, Raggy.
that may cost him.
You jumped the start. That's a drive-through penalty.
I got a bad start. I already black flag, damn it.
It's going to be a drive-through. Do not stop in the pit. It's a drive-through.
It's true.
Go
All right.
find the pit.
Let's get take your camera. Send it to us, will you?
I got it.
There we go.
Woo.
There we go. And we are watching. Is that Potato
That's
Lobster?
Potato Lobster putting
Making
the moves on the Utah crew.
Making the pass through on the Utah crew, who is not ready to give it up. And
no,
tries
they were going to try and keep that.
Shows him a wheel on the outside, but thinks better of it at the end and pulls back. This is a good view on the whole race right now from following the Potato Lobster. In the Veloster, which my favorite TCR car out of them. I just like it.
I kind of cozied up to the Elantra during dev, and now I regret it because I think it's the most boring of them to drive.
I still never even tried the Elantra. I tried the Audi and the Honda, and then I tried the Veloster, and it had the best turbo noises, and I was like, okay, so
It does. It sounds amazing.
It actually sounds really
The Elantra
good.
sounds like a spaceship, and the car I drive sounds like a spaceship. So that all works out.
Oh, there you go. Clean, good racing from everybody thus far.
Interesting lines through that runoff there. I'm going to say that's Dr. Gould out in front, followed by Offside, then Conan, then Space Punies. Wait.
Where's our blue flag?
Yeah, no, maybe
that could be one of them
yeah.
could be blue flag. I don't remember.
As you say, in the glare, it's hard to
Yeah,
tell.
it's the sun's shining down on our eyes.
I suppose we could actually ask the spectator cam to give us the telemetry, and then we'd know.
Let's get real position.
It is in fact Dr. Gould up front, and we were.
And again, that is blue flag right in front of Potato Lobster. We're seeing, which Potato Lobster is putting in a hell of a set thus far. This is good racing.
Blue flag, kind of a force of nature in season 1.
I will let you know on my next lap around.
Those curbs have a lot of loft.
Oh, and I'm hearing a big kabloomy.
Sounded like a pod 1.
I think Pod 1 had a bit of an incident, but did not lose the place.
No,
just an off track and a good recovery there.
I love seeing the drivers leaning into their turns.
Yeah, did those Addies turn?
Part of that is, of course, just the natural anticipation that the brain does, but part of it is also to counteract the effect of our pods leaning.
Not like the Hondas.
The pod.
I do so bad on that left turn.
Yeah.
The pit
Let's
entrance
check
is
in.
on
Here we go.
after the second to last.
Space Punies hot on Conan's heels.
It's between the two last turns.
That first hard right.
This is kind of at the moment a 1, 2, 3 of the 3 people who need to be fighting for the podium.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, those curbs are nastier than I thought they were going to be. Everyone's getting real unsettled when they hit those.
John, I've given you the breathing room now.
Dude, I'm bad compared to qualifying. What the hell?
Too much curb.
It's a real fine line around this complex.
Okay,
Because
lock
this
it.
straight is
Oh,
longer
yeah,
than
found it.
longer than it looks, and you can pull a lot of time out of it if you get a really good exit there. But as you say, those curbs are gnarly, and it can bite you.
This is going to be turn 7 into turn 8, and then another right-hand hairpin. So when they say Australia's action track, this is really just driver work hard.
You know, I wasn't crazy about
And
this
then
track
in the
when I
northern
raced
BM
GT4s,
corner
and I'm still not that crazy
for the
about it.
Falcon Straight.
Not bad.
It's a fun. I like it.
It's all right.
The racers are
Got some
just
good flow
It's tough to
section.
pass.
discussing the merits of Winton. I think I liked Winton.
Just feels kind of same.
It's been a while. It's been a number of
I
years.
don't know.
I think I prefer Bathurst.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not. Winton is not gonna. Oh, and Utah Crew
Ooh.
putting the moves on Potato Lobster.
Thank you, Shote.
Very clean. Very clean. Made it work. That curb right there, the Potato Lobster just caught, will bite you in a lot of cars. So good to keep together through there.
Passing through.
It looks like we might have a fight for 1 and 2 as well.
I'm going to go. Oh, thank you.
And that's going to be Offsides moving up on drgould. I wonder if this is going to close. It looks like they closed up a little bit through the 3-4 complex, but drgould got a better exit there.
Conan hot on their heels.
How are we doing? We're doing 127.7, so still a bit off of the real life previous generation TCR cars.
Okay, well, I did not get my penalty cleared going through the pit, so I don't know.
Did you stop?
See if we can help.
Yeah, I stopped and even ended up accidentally pitting.
You can't stop.
Oh,
if
that's
it's
right.
Yeah, so it's
penalty.
a drive-through penalty. You cannot stop.
Jesus.
We should we just clear that for the boy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
and
I'm
clear.
basically just driving around then.
Yeah,
Guys,
sorry, it's a
Stand
little,
by, Drysdale. We're
During
gonna.
the
it's like not clear about that when it.
There we go. We sent you a clear.
Yours has been cleared. Shote just cleared it for you.
Oh, sweet.
Serve the spirit of the penalty. We're comfortable you're not gaming the system here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm certainly not going to win, so.
All right.
It's a external view of the Space Punies vehicle, the teal Honda Civic.
Teal is really Space Pony's calling card. Most of his vehicles, except for his van, are teal.
Really?
Yep.
I had no idea.
Ooh, caught a little curb there, and it sent him out, and he just rides it all
Those
the way
curves are
off
no
the
joke.
dirt.
You cannot clip those too hard here.
Off over there?
Yeah.
Duffy, unfortunately, facing the wrong direction.
Now I'm all flustered.
But easily recovered.
Just sawing logs through there.
I believe we now have Potato Lobster hot on the trail of the Utah crew. I believe that the Utah crew switched drivers between Feature Race 1 and 2.
They tend to, which is
I'm really appreciating
why we
having
call
you
them
as
the
a
Utah
reference.
crew.
The only reason I'm
It's
doing
my understanding it's
halfway
one of
decent
any
laps at all,
3
so.
people at any given
As bad
point
as
in
you
time.
I
feel
also
like you're doing,
understand
I'm
that they
appreciating
throw
your
things
tactics
at
for
each
making
other
me
while
better.
they're
So
racing,
thank you.
which probably makes it more exciting there than it is here.
Seems like it would be a difficult
Money shifted
environment
there.
to perform under.
It's only a second and a half faster than anything I've done, so I'm in with a shot.
12 minutes remaining in Feature Race 2, where all the things are on the line. Let's check in with the positions with Schote and the leaderboard. It's going to be drgould with a 3-second lead over Offside, followed by 4-second lead over Conan in Pod 4 and Space Punies in Pod 2. The gap between Conan and Space Punies.
Can we get a Conan camera?
Here's a Conan camera right here. Oh, he's munch.
Oh yeah, Conan is starting to try to set up Knox here, and this is Audi on Audi, so very similar, same cars.
And this is also this is the fight he needs to win more than any other fight
need to
here.
win, but very different driving styles between these two people. So this will be interesting to see if he can make this happen and if he can keep it clean through here. Conan likes to kind of saw and throw and force the car to behave.
I think Conan also likes to Verstappen a little bit, and it's going to take us 10 minutes to adjudicate that and then give him his penalty. So
it's true. He does like to make some sort of heroic efforts to make a pass happen. So we'll see.
Creative use of the resources available.
Throwing the car through that complex as the weight shifts from the right to the left side.
I firmly believe that most of the oopses and time losses in this race so far have been people hitting the insides of those curbs.
Yep.
It's kind of like...
But honestly, a beautiful line through that complex through there. That was exactly where you needed to put the car.
It's like the hot dog at Lime Rock. Do not eat the hot dog.
Do not eat the tiramisu curb. Ooh, and just
like that one, for instance.
And
although,
who do we have here? Oh, this is
Right, Duffy.
taking advantage of the traffic to pull right up on
Knox.
Offside/Knox/Tom.
And he takes a little bit of a wider line on the entrance there, so he can get a little bit more drive on the exit. But Tom, I think, was just a little bit faster on the gas and was able to pull that through.
Audi's ahead of us and Audi's behind. Here we are. This backward shot brought to you by iRacing.com.
Brought to you by our new official water sponsor, Topo Chico.
Oh, are we Topo Chico sponsored this week? Sweet.
Delicious and crispy mineral.
I would still prefer Liquid Death, frankly.
Yeah, but they've snubbed our emails and calls every
I
time.
hate when that happens.
We are not extreme enough for Liquid Death. Has Offside's car always been 420?
Yes.
And I'm just now noticing
Yeah,
it.
for 4 years of racing with that fine gentleman, and he's always been 420.
Is that some sort of message or secret code?
I think it might be.
You know, I keep giving him crap for taking that curb, and he keeps pulling half a second out of it. So I should
pulls
maybe,
some time
yeah.
out of it. Can he? Ooh, a wide entrance. Can he make it stick on exit and benefit from it? I think he's pulling a little bit of space on Knox there. Oh, a little too hard on the brakes. And that's going to cost him the lead he was able to pull from the previous
I think
corner.
with 10 minutes left, he's got the time to kind of pick and choose his battles here and just let the pressure build up on Offside before he makes his move here. But we also know that Conan's pretty impatient.
And the other thing I'll say is, I've been watching Tom
It's
race
gonna be
for
brutal.
years, and he has learned to deal
Keep
with
him off,
pressure
Tom.
from somebody right behind him exceptionally well.
Do you have the caltrops in the back?
Waiting around for Tom to make a mistake isn't going to be a winning recipe for Conan, I don't think. I think he's going to have to make this issue happen if he's going to want to make it happen.
And we have now entered the territory where racecraft is going to make the difference here because Conan definitely has the pace.
And Tom's doing a brilliant job of defending his position here as well. Just making that car wide and taking up the spots on the track that Conan's trying to get around.
Now he's basically trying to induce Conan into making an overly risky move in order to make the pass happen, and Conan is not taking the bait.
Oh, looks like a little bit of an entrance. Weird entrance into that corner, but low consequence place to do that in.
That's pretty.
Ah, the Heckelopter.
I like that. Swa, swa, swa. Conan using all of the track and some of the runoff beside. Can I get the map up here? Is there anything else we should be watching? As much as I love this.
This is the
No,
race
this
right
is what
now.
we should be watching. All right.
This is a great battle for a
You're
second.
watching exactly what we should be
Hard
watching
to
right now.
Patrick. Is he going to try and show Knox a wheel through one of these corners here? I don't know if he can get the dive.
I think it's inevitable. I think he's gonna.
I think it's I just don't know where he's going to make it happen. I haven't yet seen him have quite enough drive to show him a wheel.
I'm going to go with turn 7. He's going to do it right before that 3 hairpin complex. Of course, he's lost about 2/10 here, so that's going to be more difficult.
Just avoid the curb there, which is nice. He picked up his first incident point, guessing turn 3. I could see turn 3 happen. He tends to have the drive on him coming through there. That is where I think we see the most of the bumper of that 420 car.
Taking a very non-optimal line through here.
No,
He's
I
out
think
of sorts.
Choked a little bit through here. Can he pull it back together in time to make a move on turn 3?
It's like that bought offside about 2/10 right
I
there.
don't know if my brain or tires have gone off, but I try to do the same lines and I'm going way slower.
Tires are definitely going off.
Checking in on Space Punies briefly.
Such a
Nothing
high
ahead of him.
turning
All right, come on
curve.
back.
Oh, it looks like Offside's made a mistake through there and ran real wide.
Tom taking a
And
very defensive line
good
through
job
there, which is
getting-
good.
Just sizing up the inside there, seeing what it would look like. But I don't think Audi v Audi he can give him the tire there. That's classic Conan too. They're trying to make maximum use of those curbs to get up alongside the car.
What's interesting is on Winton, they are very generous with the wheel off policy here. That wasn't even an incident.
Oh, he's got it through here. That's the drive he's going to need, unless Knox isn't going to give him the space, which was great. He shouldn't have. No need to concede that position. This is killer racing. Good defensive move from Knox there to close that door. Oh, but he blew the corner.
Oh,
Conan's
that's
on the
unfortunate.
inside. Oh, and there's contact. Both cars keep it together.
Sorry, buddy.
Could have been a disaster, but they hold it together.
Very, very well defended there.
Thank you, and no
He
problem.
was never going to make this easy for Conan, and
I
he
did not
sure
want that
is
to be
not. This is
that
great.
to be resolved this way.
This is
too good to
great
let it go that way.
driving.
They're holding it down with minimal incident count. This is just really skillful.
These are two people who have been racing together in sim rigs for north of 5 or 6 years now and have a ton of respect for each other.
Pat, sounds like we're going to save the replay so we can put this up for a detailed analysis.
Neither of these guys wants to ruin the other's race with a shitty pass.
What if I want to ruin their race with a shitty pass?
Well, you're the you're the marshal. You can do whatever you want, buddy.
They don't. iRacing doesn't give the admin the correct. Like,
Oof.
I want to simulate a bird strike. Ooh, we're getting close here.
Can he hold on to that line advantage coming out here and get on the gas? He can, and he's got it. Can he? But he's going to try to go up the inside again. That door is closing.
Something you don't see from this broadcast is the side monitors. The cars do not just disappear for the drivers when they go off the side. They have full situational awareness, and they are operating on data that we don't get here.
Conan now has 3 minutes to make that pass work. He absolutely has the pace through there. He needs to show Knox the other side of his car through that section. If he can keep that pace up, he's going to be in a bad position for that next corner. If he can stay along the outside of Knox through 5 and into 6, the 6-7 complex, he can take that pass into turn 7 by showing him the right or the left side of his car.
You need to show him the other side of the car, but also still be driving in the correct direction.
It's true. It's gonna be a hell of a move and an awkward place to make the pass, but he absolutely has the pace on Knox through there every time.
I mean, the other possibility here is that Conan knows that Knox needs 2 positions on him for Knox to maintain any sort of challenge for the lead here. So it's possible he plays this defensively, knowing that even with Knox 1 position up on him at the end of this race, it's not going to matter. The question that I would ask is, what is going on immediately behind Conan? And does a 5-second mistake cost him an additional position? And I think the answer right now is no. Can you give me the map?
Yep, he's got about 7 seconds to the driver behind him, and this is where the racing is. Everybody else is kind of just hanging out and doing their thing. Let's hang out in this camera view for a little bit here. I think we'll get a little bit of an interesting view of the line they're taking. So Conan's absolutely on the good passing line by taking that sharper apex on that previous corner through there. And if he can ride this through the outside and get on the gas early, he might have more drive coming down this straight and be able to make something happen through here.
He's also going to get the advantage of the draft. These guys produce a pretty big aerodynamic wake.
Doesn't look like he was able to quite get the drive. Oh, and he blows it through there.
I think that's going to be the ball game there.
So stressful.
Nope, he's got a minute left.
We're going to get 2 laps left of this race here.
Make that 1 lap left.
This has been a hell of a drive.
All right, Tom, here we go.
The battle cry has been issued. And with a budget of 18 incidents in his tank, what will he do now? Keeping in mind, of course, that all of my drivers have signed an agreement that intentional contact will be laughed at.
Just heard Conan's car bouncing behind me.
I'm actually surprised. Well, we've got damage turned off. That would have been a race ender under normal circumstances. That would have been a race ender
right there for sure. But so I think the reality is in this circumstance, barring a big mistake from Knox, I'm not sure Conan can make this happen. Oh my God! And we have contact. Both cars are still together, pointed the right way. He wants it.
That was not enough brake for my taste right there.
He wants it, but he's got the drive. They're both off the line. He's going to tap him again. The reality here is situation notwithstanding, Conan has the pace through there. He has the pace, but Knox has been doing a brilliant job of driving really defensively and making that pass nigh on impossible for him the whole time.
Don't fuck this up, Tom.
I think Conan was kind of married to the racing lane through that section. If he was able to just separate a little bit, he might have been able to pull a pass off. It's hard to say when you're locked into somebody's bumper like that, but
I don't think we've been locked into a single view here for this long in quite some time.
I had to try and send it through there to try and see if I could make it work.
What a race.
No way.
What
a fucking
race.
Hell yeah. That was a brilliant drive from both of those drivers. That was awesome.
That's going to be the last really truly contended position coming through here as positions 3 and 4 rolled through, followed by 5.
Oh yeah, no, that was the place right after.
I'm watching that on the replay.
We'll definitely.
That was a
we will put together a replay analysis of this.
There's going to be some highlights from that battle right there. That was a killer watch. Some of the best defending I've seen in a long time.
You've been saving all these out, right?
Fun.
Thank you.
I am wrecked.
Yeah, I am.
Blessed be Shote, the production assistant.
Yeah.
I've offered to let him host the show. You just want to host the show?
Yeah, that was a really good night of racing.
My goodness. And the final numbers.
I just see 2 TCR cars go screaming straight across the track.
Those are rentals.
I'm never racing on holiday.
The final positions for the race are in position number 1, Dr. Gould, followed by Offside /Knox/Tom. Conan in Pod 4, Space Punies in Pod 2, Blue Flag in position 5, followed by the Utah crew, Potato Lobster, and Duffy, who had some unfortunate interactions with the penalty system early in this race.
Yeah.
We will make sure that we talk about that before the next race. And Jimmy, thanks for coming out. Super glad you enjoyed it. We are here every week pushing out this content. I believe it is time.
You can catch us on Wednesday nights, and there's a heck of a lot more of these in the YouTubes to watch that are already recorded. So.
Tonight We Race is a community endeavor. We race as a community, plan and test as a community, and most importantly, we would like you to be part of our community. So if you'd like to be one of our local drivers in the native Seattle area, remote driver, online through iRacing, or really just want to shoot the shit in Discord, we would absolutely love to have you. We are going to go ahead and hit the outro music, and that means all the stream ending stuff is going to happen. Thank you for coming out. Next week, the final Season 3 night. We'll have the scores up here in about a half an hour up on the site, and we can see what that looks like. We'll also get a replay up. And thank you, everyone. We will see you next week for the conclusion of Season 3 of Tonight We Race.
Cool.
And we're out. Wait, why am I getting an Elgato no?
Is that
no.
what that's supposed to show?
Oh, no. What's wrong with the rear camera? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that's terrible. Hold on. Quick, rapid swap to something with content on it.
That's not
there we go.
That's not the exit we were supposed to get.
I am guessing when we rebooted I am unmuting to let you know that Goals clicked the thing.
I clicked the thing.